So I wanted to do a quick video on enchanting jewelry, using jewelry and things of that nature in like tools. And so it really started with this pair of earrings. I found it at a flea market and I absolutely loved it because of all the little keys. And I love the design. It's just really pretty. But the keys really stood out to me. And so it really made me think about, unlocking doors, unlocking skills, unlocking that which has been either locked away or hidden, um, unknown, that type of thing. And so as I wore them and as I look at them and as I played with the little keys on it and stuff, those were always the thoughts that ran into my mind, was unlocking and, opening new doors, things of that nature. And I noticed that they actually became that kind of a tool. So, especially for divination, especially for communication with spirit, with deity, with ancestor, they're very much a communication tool for me and an unlocking, and even unlocking of skills. So, when I'm working on a new skill, whether that's physical or whether it's magical, these are great. I absolutely love them for that purpose, and they do the job. And that's the important thing. So over time, it wasn't like a conscious thing when I got these. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get it for this purpose. It really was a creation over time, putting that energy, putting that intention into them on even an unconscious level, made them into that kind of a tool, which I thought was really cool. And so that brings us to these two pieces. I got this, I just saw it in the same kind of flea market. It's the same one, it changes all the time though. But this was just hanging up on somebody's wall. And I don't know why I was so drawn to it, but I was absolutely drawn to it. And I didn't know what I was, that it had a purpose or that it was going to serve a purpose. I needed it. I just really needed it. So I went and I bought it. It was only like $1. And come to find out, and I'd never worked with pendulums before, never really had that kind of drive to play with them. This became a pendulum for my ancestors. And so it was the first one that I ever used with them. It was the primary up until that, but we'll get to that. But it was a pendulum. And that's how I used it, asking them, for verification of stuff. And even when I would draw cards, I would verify, am I getting this right? Especially when we're talking spell work, because my ancestors are very, very heavy in my spell work and directing my spell work and giving me spells. And so, I would use it as an extra tool. I would interpret everything in the pieces, and then I would be like, okay, is this part right? Is this part right? Is this part right? And if not, then I would go deeper and to figure out what I was missing in that section or that little piece. But I was so blown away by how well this worked and how amazing it was. And I was just like, oh my God, that's great. But as you can see, the chain that it's on really sucks. It's always getting knotted. It's like one of those hairbone ones or whatever. And it's always twisting. It's always getting kinks. And so I went looking for just a chain. I was just looking for a chain. And I saw this at Walmart, and I was like, oh, yay, great. I'll pick that up, and I can take the chain off this and put it onto my key, and everything will be great. Didn't work out that way because of the way that this chain is built and its pieces and how it's put in to this. I couldn't get it off. And so I was like, well, damn. Okay. But I did have Karasite. It's this really, really pretty purple stone, and I can't get it to focus very well. Anyway, it's very, very pretty purple stone. It's a rare stone that comes from Siberia. Only one place that it's found in the world. And I had gotten 3 really small pieces of it that was really cool. And I was like, okay, great. And its meaning matched perfectly. And so I was like, you know what? I really wanted one in a necklace. And so I'm just going to go and put one in there, in the center of this, because this didn't have anything to begin with. So I just went through and I put it in there and started wearing it. And lo and behold, this, even though it seems bulky and it's big and seems heavy and all that, it really works great as a pendulum as well. So I went from this key pendulum, which now sits on my altar with my ancestors, to using this as my pendulum when I'm just out and about and things of that nature. So it did make a transition, but, still works perfectly well. It's beautiful. And these weren't intentional things. I didn't buy them for these specific reasons. But oh my God, it's incredible. So when you're thinking about your craft, when you're thinking about tools, get out of the box. Think outside the box. Get creative. You can turn all kinds of things into tools. You don't need to be going out and buying and always spending your money on other people's tools and what they're creating and all that. These were things I found in a flea market and a $5 necklace at Walmart. And they've turned into the most fantastic and proven tools for me. They prove themselves over and over again without fail. And everything, all my magic, my intentions, my energies are all bound up into them. And it is fantastic. So think about it. Think about pieces that you own. It could be rings. It could be, bracelets. It could be jewelry. It could be clothing. I am sure you can do this with clothing and stuff too, certain pieces and all that. But, start creating tools with the things that you have. It is awesome. And I'm telling you, because they're already things that you're wearing and attaching, they're blending with your energy. So it's not something that is separate from you. A part of you is in that now because of the way that is created. So yeah, give it a shot. And if you do this and you have these kinds of pieces and have specific pieces for certain things, I'd love to hear your stories. So you can stitch it, you can comment, you can, whatever, share it and then share yours. I would love to hear, what are your tools in this area and this kind of thing? What are you using? How have you taken a mundane object and turned it into a magical piece for your practice, a tool that you use? So yeah, have a great one.